What is going on, jabronis? It's your boy Shrek back here again with some more Valorant agent setups. We're looking at Killjoy again, this time on the map Icebox. We are going to be showing you some setups for A, some setups for B, some setups for kitchen, a little stuff in between. We're going to show you some retakes as well, a couple of grenade positions and other stuff like that to be able to get you and your team in the best position possible for a retake. And we're going to be showing you all that here today, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Taking a little gander over to the B side to take a look at our first setup, we're going to want to set our first robot drone boy right here in front of the K for KNG, stands for Donkey Kong. First grenade, we're going to want to put right here on that little mark right there, slightly above that footprint. Second grenade, just pretty much anywhere in this little vicinity from here to about here, just anywhere there. And then for your turret, if you want to do a little bit more of a passive hold on this site, you can go ahead and plop your turret right there. Maybe even wait around back site. Maybe if you want to be really passive, go all the way to Snowman, somewhere over there. That's a really good place if you position your turret there. But if you want to maybe peek with your turret or play a little bit more aggressively, you can go ahead and plop your turret right about there. Take a good look at the opening beginning of B green, B cubby, all this stuff right here. Your turret will be able to see if they're up there or if they're over on the left. And then from there, if you want to peek, you can peek. Take a couple shots off, back up a little bit. Once you start to hear them come in, if you maybe start to hear Raisebot or maybe you start to hear a jet dash, you can go ahead and pop your first molly, pop your second one. Their alarm bot will go off. There's very little room for them to sort of just sit there. So they'll either have to push all the way into sight or they'll have to go around yellow. So if you are holding around here, be aware that they might come right around there. So just keep both ways blocked. It does sort of put you in a bit of a precarious predicament. So if you decide to hold somewhere maybe right around here, maybe around back site, this is very, very well because it gives them a bit of confusion with the grenades and with your alarm bot. Now let's go ahead and move on to a retake on B site for our grenade setup. We're going to want to go ahead and put one of our grenades just slightly to the left of this corner right here. That covers default. And then for our second grenade, we're going to go ahead and put it in this little corner, as far into that corner as you can. If they are potentially wanting to go ahead and plant up top, this might be a little bit of a gamble, but you can go ahead and chuck a grenade right there onto this little LED screen right there. That way if they start to come up here and they start to plant up here for some unknown reason, you can go ahead and pop that. That does a significant amount of damage to them all throughout the top part of the site. But if they are just playing default and they're going to want to go ahead and push in and plant default or plant towards here, you can go ahead and pop that one off. That covers all of that area right here. They'll have to move towards this area. Or if they decide to move more towards into the site and they don't shoot this one is a bit of a easy one to shoot. You can go ahead, pop that one. It gives you more time for your team to recuperate, gives you more time for your team to push on and get the retake. With kitchen, this is a bit of a nuclear site or nuclear placement for Killjoy here. Sort of the same as a Sage Wall, where essentially it eliminates this route for the enemy team if you can play this right with Killjoy. So with our setup here for this little tube area and kitchen entirely, we're going to want to go ahead and put our drone next to the little trash bags right there. First grenade on this line. Second grenade is going to be a little bit of a different one. You're going to want to go ahead and position yourself on this box right here. Then you want to aim for here, but not exactly for there. You want the grenade to land right there, catch the side of it right there. But you're going to want to aim your cursor more towards right about there. That way you just chuck it like so. Gets in there all snug and comfy, has some marshmallows and chocolate to roast on the bonfire. And then from there, if you want, you can go ahead and place your turret here. If you want to go ahead and make sure none are coming under tube, you can maybe decide to place your turret here if they start to push out from kitchen. A lot of places for you to put your turret, sort of up to your own discretion. In terms of your placement as your body yourself, there are a couple of them right here. You can go ahead and put yourself behind this box right here. When you start to hear them come in, this is what the enemy is going to see coming in. They are going to come in. They're going to come in maybe fast. They see the drone. You pop your grenades. It is a very, very tight squeeze here in tube. They will have no choice but to either fully back up entirely until you get a chance to peek, or they'll have to push directly out. So if you are placed right here and they start to push out, it is a simple peek right there. Take a couple heads off. Have a grilled sandwich. And then if you want to go ahead and position yourself maybe a little bit more passively so that you don't get immediately one-tapped, you can put yourself a little bit outside of kitchen, maybe even right here. Wait for your grenades to go off, wait to hear footsteps, and eat some fish. With kitchen and B site out of the way, we are now going to direct our attention over towards the A site right here. First setup, we're going to want to go ahead and put one grenade on this little 4 line right here. Second grenade, same thing on another line right here on the ramp. And then you're going to want to just go ahead and throw your alarm bot anywhere in the middle right here. It's probably good to get it equidistant from that grenade and that grenade, but overall it's not that much of a specific placement. Turret, little corner right there in maze. Looking at this from the enemy's point of view, they're going to go ahead and push in. Maybe they get shot by the turret, shoot that down a bit. They're a little bit afraid to go through maze because if you see a turret there, chances are there's either you or your teammate right here, or they assume that you or your teammate is right there, so they might not go ahead and push that with there being a turret right there. So they'll go towards here. They see your alarm bot goes off, your grenades go off. Very, very good grenades. Even if you get in this little corner right here, no safety at all whatsoever. It either pushes them forward or pushes them completely backwards, and it gives your team a lot of time to sort of figure out what you want to do. As with all Killjoy setups, you want to go ahead and make sure that they are not becoming too predictable for the enemy team. Even the best Killjoy setups, eventually, if the enemy team is smart enough, is going to figure out where you're placing your turrets, where you're placing your alarm bots, all things like that. So be sure to keep switching it up from time to time in between rounds, even if it is working. You don't want to become a stagnant Killjoy player, because then you are very useless. But in terms of positioning yourself, there are a couple of different positions here. If you want to go ahead and position yourself, like I said, more towards your turret, wait for them to peek off of your turret. Maybe they're in the middle of shooting your turret, maybe your turret's in the middle of shooting them. You're going to want to go ahead and peek off of that with them. Pop your grenades as you do while they're pushing onto site. Secondary placement for you could be around green box right here. This is wall bangable, so be a bit careful on that. It is a little bit more of a predicament if you get caught here and don't have a teammate to help you get out. And if you're feeling very wacky, silly, goofy, you can go ahead and position yourself in top tube right here. Again, all of this completely wall bangable, so keep that in mind. But you can go ahead and position yourself right here. Make sure not to show yourself too early. Killjoy's main reason for being on the team is to stay alive. She's a great retake agent, and she has a bunch of things along with her ult that make that so. And so for you, in terms of holding the site, you're going to want to make sure that you survive almost the longest. Peek with your teammates. Don't take 1v2s. Don't take 1v3s. Maybe not even take 1v1s, depending on how you feel about your aim. But you're just going to want to position yourself into right here. Wait for your turret. Wait for your alarm bot. Pop your grenades. Get a good little peek right there. You even have a good little view of the corner right there if they try to position themselves there, even though they'll have to get out from your grenades. But overall, this is a very, very wonderful setup if you just want to start as a almost default position on A, and will get you some very, very good kills. Coming up to our last setup here on Icebox, we're going to want to go ahead and put a little bit of a, let's say, passive setup here. Maybe the team you're going up against is a little hesitant. Maybe every time they see one of your grenades go off, they immediately push out and start to rotate towards B or towards mid. This is a setup that will maybe entice them to push in a little bit. Maybe they don't see your setups. Maybe they don't see your grenades. Maybe they don't see your alarm bot. So you're going to want to go ahead and throw your alarm bot right here behind this little generator server type thing. Takes them a long bit to get in. So by the time they get in, they are all the way into sight. So they have a lot of room for error when it comes to either leaving the site or pushing more into sight. And then from there, Granada, you're going to want to put right around this position, somewhere right here. A good circular pancake. And then your second one is going to be a plant grenade. You're going to want to go ahead, put yourself in this little corner right here. Line up your grenade like so, and chuck it. Make sure it gets into that little area right there, maybe even a little bit higher. Just making sure that you can get it as far into the left side of this box as you can. Turret placement and player position is sort of going to go hand in hand on this setup right here. Let's say you want to be a little bit more on rafters towards this side, maybe take a peek, maybe just wait for your turret to shoot something. You're going to want to go ahead and set up your little buddy right here. That way, if they start to push in, you can maybe take a peek with the turret as it starts to get destroyed. The enemies will have to adjust their aim. And rafters overall is a very, very wonderful place for this setup to position yourself. You can sort of back way the hell off right here, wait for your drone to go off. And taking a look at that from the enemy's point of view, they won't even be able to see the drone until it's too late. They'll maybe focused on your turret, they may be focused on you or your teammate here or there. So your drone, pop off right there. First grenade, when your drone goes off, pop it. They'll either have to push in, and if you're there, it'll be very, very advantageous, or they'll have to push out, and it'll give your team time to group up on A and pick a fight. And then once you start to hear the plant, pop that grenade right there. It'll catch them off guard. They won't be able to see most of the grenade. Obviously, they'll still be able to hear it. But hearing a grenade is a bit of like hearing a fly in your room. You might know where it is, but you also might have no idea. It might be 17 million flies in your room rolling around in your ears. The other position you or your turret could be in is right around here, right towards the very back, almost towards your spawn. Not exactly all the way towards your spawn, but a little bit near these stairs. You can go ahead and position your turret right here. Still gets a decent look at pipes right there, and it gives you a little bit of an advantageous peek through mid. Let's say they start to send 2 or 3 through A and 1 or 2 through mid. This turret will be able to notice it, and that way you can have a little bit of a heads up. That way you aren't just getting clapped by your cheeks from behind. And then from there, you just position yourself in this little stairway right here. You start to hear your alarm bot go off, pop the grenades, wait for them to push in. You got a good view right there. You got a beautiful view right here of the site if they start to try to push in a little bit more. And if they even try to back up to this corner, you have a wonderful, wonderful peek right here. You can just jiggle peek, get some good shots. This setup is very, very advantageous for the enemy team that wants to play a little bit more passively, or as I said, if they start to see you or your teammates throw a lot of util here, maybe they'll back off really quickly, and teams like that can get really annoying because you'll start to throw a lot of stuff A, then you'll get confused when they go mid or towards B, or your teammates have a piece of cheese stuck up their ass. Any of those different things, this setup is very, very useful. It'll allow the enemy team to push in a lot more than the other setup, all while giving you time to set off your grenades and get a good victory royale. And that will go ahead and do it for all of our setups here on Icebox for Killjoy. Thank you guys so very much for checking out the video. I appreciate it a lot. It means the world to me that you guys have gotten this far into the video. If you are here, that is more support than I could have ever asked for, so I appreciate that. But if you would like to do a little bit more free supporting, you can go ahead and like the video or leave a comment on what your favorite Killjoy setup was. Let me know if there is a better setup on either site or kitchen that I missed. Let me know what other agents you'd like to see. Let me know if there are any other games you'd like to see setups for agents on those games. Maybe Apex, maybe something else. Leave it in the comments below. Have a good day, afternoon, morning, wherever you may be in the world. And I will catch you guys on the next video.